I accept that challenge.
Hi guys, Ashton Hunter here, and today I'm going to be going through the list of which I used at the UK Remote Duel Extravaganza and got top 4 in the Giant Card event and top 8 in the main event. Mekk-Knight Invoked. In the words of Ike Eisenhower, let's get busy! We have the best normal summon in the game, Alistair, along with your basic Triple Meltdown, Terraforming, and Double Invocation. I'm not playing Free Invocation because I'm not playing Desires, and honestly the third one never actually came up for me. I was always fine with 2 Invocation, considering how quickly you can kill in this deck. All pretty standard really, bar that. And then we have the absolute chads that are the Mekk-Knights, Triple Nightfall, Double Blue Sky, and the most broken one, Shifty Boy. What makes Mekk-Knight Invoked great in Remote Duel is that no one is playing around them at the minute. I played so many games this weekend where I would have opponents who would put their cards in the same column, and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, you've just saved me a job. Special Nightfall, Special Blue Sky, they're just really solid extenders and macabre material. And then we have the second best Mekk-Knight, Pankratops, because unlike the other Mekk-Knights which require columns, he just requires the opponent to have a monster on board. Even at 1 he's still really solid. Speaking of extenders, we have 1 Light Stage and 1 Korrobane. These cards are really good because Light Stage helps force out back row like Eldritch Trap cards, so you force them to activate their Sanguines, force out Conquistadors which might be dead, so they can't pop, and vice versa. And then Korrobane is just another really solid light extender to go with Alistair. Following on from that, we have Free Gamma Seal, which helps punish your opponent for not shotgunning their VFD or Zexal in the standby phase, and it's also really solid removal for Herald and other problem cards. Also, Godzilla's better than King Kong. Then we have the package which helps summon the best card in the deck, 2 Red Eyes Fusion, 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon, and 1 Dark Magician. If you're wondering why I'm playing 2 Red Eyes Fusion, it's because you want to see Dragoon as soon as possible in this deck. Say you are only playing 1 and you open the 1 Red Eyes Fusion, you proceed to activate it and it gets ashed. You've got no other opportunity that game to summon Dragoon, and you've got 2 Garnets in your deck as well, which makes it a pretty shit situation. Meanwhile, with 2 Red Eyes Fusion, if 1 gets negated, you still have another opportunity during that game to summon Dragoon, and honestly, I don't regret playing 2. I think it's necessary in this deck. And finally, with the hand trap lineup, we have 3 Ash Blossom, Double Skullmeister, and Triple DD Crow. The reason for this lineup is because these hand traps hit so much this format, from Quinlon to Sanguine to even Golden Lord in Graveyard, and more obscure stuff like, say, Miscellaneousaurus, Baby Cerosaurus, you name it. These cards are just really solid. And if you're wondering why I'm only playing 2 Skullmeister, it's because I had to make sure the deck was 40, and I'm playing Instant Fusion as well, which I'll get into in a moment. So I kind of had to cut it down. Either way though, this hand trap lineup was really solid. Moving on to the last 7 spells, we have Instant Fusion, which is used to summon Thousand Eyes as a form of removal. I never saw this card, and I sided it out every single game. Not much else to say really. Then we have Triple Lightning Storm, absolute blowout card against back row decks, what's more to say? And finally, Forbidden Wax Play, which is insane for stopping VFD, Herald, and even Zeus and Dryden and Zulich, and just proceeding to OTK from there. Moving on to the extra, we have Double Mekaba, the second best negation in the game right now, Purgatrio, which I only really summoned once, but it's still necessary to play in this deck. It's an absolute OTK machine. Agoides, which is also really solid. I only summoned this once or twice, but again, like with Purgatrio, it's just really solid and it can help push for damage. Dragoon, the best card in the deck, because on its own, you can just steal so many games. For example, I played against Herman Hansen round 2 of the main event, and game 2 he ends on a Shen Shen and an M7. I have Red Eyes Fusion in my hand, I just put Red Eyes Fusion down, summon Dragoon, pop his guys, and just attack the game. It's just an insane card. And lastly, in terms of fusions, Thousand Eyes Strict. Again, it's for removal and another play which I'll show you in a bit, but again, it just was mostly irrelevant. Then we have Almirage and Artemis as the 1 card Alistair links. Artemis is really good for going straight into Mekaba, and then Almirage, I actually did use its protection effect Invoked once or twice and it was really helpful. And I'm not playing Secure Gardener because, again, I play Artemis, so it's not really needed. And to be honest with this, I really just link it off into Verte with an extender. Speaking of which, we play double Verte because we want to see Dragoon as soon as possible. And if one of these gets destroyed or removed, we have the second one to back us up. Then we have Cross Sheep, Selene, and Access Code Talker. The reason I'm showing these ones together is because linking it with playing Thousand Eyes Restrict, the idea was summon Thousand Eyes, take a guy, link it off with Alistair into Cross Sheep, fuse into Mekka or any other invoked fusion, use Cross Sheep's effect, summon back for Thousand Eyes, link for Thousand Eyes and Cross Sheep off into Selene, use Selene's effect to summon Thousand Eyes if there's like 3 or more spells, which if you were doing that line of play there most likely would be. And then Thousand Eyes take another guy, and then finally you link Thousand Eyes of this off into Access Code Talker and you make profit. That play never came up though, so I can't really say much else about it. Still wanted to mess around with it because it seems like a really neat combo. And then finally we have Madness Alistair for more OTK shenanigans. I only summoned it once and didn't do much else with it. And Nightmare Unicorn, which is also there for removal, never summoned. And that's the extra. Moving on to the side deck, we play 3 Cycle Reader for Drytron. I only played against 1 this weekend and I didn't see it. Still kind of necessary for that matchup because it stops Ben 10, it stops all of the guys in the graveyard. Triple Drawn Lockbird for Drytron and Virtual Ward. Triple Lancia for Virtual Ward as well. And with both these are also really good against random stuff like Invoke Dogmatica. Then we have the removal squad in the form of 3 Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Red Reboot and 1 Feather Duster. The reason I'm not maining Feather Duster is because it's not that good game 1, because say you end up against a combo deck, it's pretty much dead. When compared to Lightning Storm, say you're against the Tri-Brigade Lyrilisk deck and they've got their board set up, you can at least use Lightning Storm to get rid of Link, Krebo and Appaloosa. I mean, you only have like, say, the statue to worry about, when if you just open this, it's just kind of dead. And then with Cosmic Cyclone, although I sided 3 of it, I always found myself only siding in 2 copies. Because, for example, against Virtual World, I sided in 2 copies of it, along with Lancia and Droll, so I could play around Chuche, so they can't pop my shit, or pop the VFD to play around Droplets. And then even against Zulich, I only sided in 2 because I wanted those cards to stop Zeus, Dryden, and the Ash for Sanguine, and the hand traps for all the graveyard effects. Still a really solid card though. It's just really hard to side in this deck. And finally, I couldn't decide on the last side deck card because originally I was playing Gamma, but I cut Gamma because I don't think it's that good right now, and I'm already playing 2 vanillas in my deck. So we decided we're playing Mystic Mine. And that's how I sacked my opponent. And that is my profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing a more in-depth profile on Yugi Joe's channel with a tournament report. Give me a like, subscribe, follow my Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, OnlyFans, you name it. Anyhow, this is the Ashen Hunter signing out. Mekk-Knight Invoked, best deck.